How do you guys think of motivation? What motivates you? Carrots and sticks? Somebody cracking a whip? Fear? What really motivates you? Is it imagining being able to take your family out to a dinner and you picking up the bill? Is it sitting on a beach somewhere in the wintertime when everybody else is freezing? Not at their own choice, I mean, shit. Yo, it's Kevin Del Rosario here. What motivates you? Do you even really understand what motivation is? These are all important questions. How do you motivate yourself to accomplish what you want to accomplish in this world? It's a really good question, and I think a lot of people don't think about how deep the question actually is. But this book here, Drive, explains a lot of it. Download this book into your brain. I want to start off with a little story here. I have this book on both Kindle and audiobook, as well as the paperback, because it was really important for me at the time, understanding what motivates people, what motivates a team of people. It's a really important question for organizations as well as individual people. Just your individual life. To understand what motivates you is going to help you get there. I want to read this here. This is a section of the book. It's a little quick story. Less of what we want. One of the most enduring scenes in American literature offers an important lesson in human motivation. In Chapter 2 of Mark Twain's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Tom faces the dreary task of whitewashing Aunt Polly's 810 square foot fence. He's not exactly thrilled with the assignment. Life to him seemed hollow, and existence but a burden, Twain writes. But just when Tom has nearly lost hope, nothing less than a great magnificent inspiration burst upon him. When his friend Ben ambles by and mocks Tom for his sorry lot, Tom acts confused. Slapping paint on a fence isn't a grim chore, he says. It's a fantastic privilege, a source of intrinsic motivation. The job is so captivating, when Ben asks to try a few brushstrokes himself, Tom refuses. He doesn't relent until Ben gives up his apple in exchange for the opportunity. Soon, more boys arrive, all of whom tumble to Tom's trap. They end up whitewashing the fence several times over on his behalf. From this episode, Twain extracts a key motivational principle, namely, that work consists of whatever a body is obliged to do, and that play consists of whatever a body is not obliged to do. He goes on to write, there are wealthy gentlemen in England who drive 4-horse passenger coaches 20 or 30 miles on a daily line in the summer, because the privilege costs them considerable money. But if they were offered wages for the service, that would turn into work, and they would resign. Now, whether you believe that money is a number one motivator for people, it's a lot deeper than that. People, of course, are motivated by money. But more importantly, people are motivated by what's deeper than the money. Money is always just a means to an end anyway. So it's not being motivated by having piles of cash in your house and flipping through the $100 bills. Who would honestly be motivated by that anyway? It's what money can get you. And what money buys is actually freedom and options, right? At the end of the day. So, of course, money will motivate you. And it also describes in this book how You do need a certain amount of money to be motivated. You need enough money to not have to worry if an emergency happens. You need enough money to know that if your car breaks down, you have what it takes to get the car fixed or get a new one. You need to know that you have enough money to buy whatever you need, whether it's food or whatever your basic needs are. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Those needs need to be fulfilled in order for you to even perform at your capacity anyway. So I just talked about how employees and teams need enough money to take the issue of money off the table so they don't have to worry about money. That's the basic need that needs to be met. But going beyond this, human beings are designed, they're wired to want a sense of autonomy, a sense of freedom. And, we're not animals in a cage. We don't really like to be told what to do, really. But it says that when that is liberated, when they feel liberated, they're able to perform much better. In the book, it also talks about, there's an acronym, it's called ROE, R-O-E, a results-only environment. Now, I can't really remember the name of the company in the book. You'll have to read it yourself. But in this company, they had a results-only environment, right? So the employees, quote unquote, would basically have the freedom to work however they wanted to work. They can come in whatever time they wanted to come in. They can do whatever they want to do, wear whatever they want. If they want to walk in flip-flops, they can walk in flip-flops. They can eat, they can laugh and enjoy themselves however they want. They can do the job however they want to do as long as they produce results. And this is what I noticed in some sales organizations. When I was working for a tax resolution company, if my numbers were good, the sales manager would say, Kevin, you don't have to clock out for lunch. Go ahead. You don't have to clock out. He would say, you don't have to clock out. Go ahead. Take an hour and a half, whatever you want. I'll see you when you get back. And it was just, that right there motivated me. Then the extra, $50 per lead I was getting him. So if that day I got 2 leads before 1 o'clock, which was a good start to the day, he would say, yeah, go ahead, go take a lunch and you don't have to clock out. I'll see you when you get back. Like, basically take your time, do whatever you want to do, whatever's going to make you happy. If you come back and get another one, that's all I care about. And that lit a literal fire under my ass. Like, I wanted to do whatever it was, whatever deadline needed to be met, because I was granted that freedom. Okay, I could leave for an hour and a half. I could go to the gym if I want. I could do some yoga and come back, and I'm getting paid whatever it was for hourly. I think it was like $12 an hour. So what? $12 they're paying. You got to think about the ROI on something like that. Get paid $12. Pay somebody $12 an hour. Yeah, don't worry about the $12, right? But they're going to have so much drive and ambition to accomplish whatever it is that you want because you gave them, it's not the $12 that you're giving them. You're giving them the time. And that's what was important for me. That really drove me big time. And I've also worked for, sales, in sales, to where the point was, if you start doing good, they start letting you have whatever it is you want. And if you ask for something that you want, you get it because you're producing results. And so that's why it's good to work in sales. It's not always about the money. It's about the freedom, the autonomy, being your own boss, self-managed, self-motivated. Back to the topic of motivation. Motivation should always be intrinsic. There's another story I mean, I'm going to hack it up because I don't exactly remember how it went, but there were two workers, right? They were laborers and they were bricklayers. So they lay bricks all day. One guy gets called into the office of the foreman and he's complaining. He's like, I'm tired of this. All I do is come in here and lay bricks all damn day. All day, all I do is lay bricks. I need some time off. The other guy comes in. The foreman asks him how he's doing. Guy number 2, he says, doing fantastic. He's in early. He's just got the right attitude, right? This is what? Well, what is it? How are you doing so good? He says, because I'm part of building this great monument. I'm building one of the greatest monuments in this area. I'm part of something greater. And see, so sometimes all it is a simple mindset shift. He saw the bigger picture, being part of something greater and building this magnificent monument. The other guy, all he was doing was coming in and laying bricks all day. You see the difference in thinking when it comes to mindset and being internally driven. Now, if you were to tell the guy who was laying bricks all day, bored, if you were to tell him, okay, look, I'll give you a pay increase of $1.20 an hour. How long is that motivation going to last? A couple hours, maybe a couple days, and then it's going to fizzle out. It's not going to stay motivated to lay bricks all damn day just for an extra $1 or $2 an hour. That's not going to work. You got to get him to see the big picture. You're building this great monument. And now this is just a metaphor for what you're motivated to do. What kind of monument are you building? You could be, someday you want to build a business. Someday you might have a vision for you and your family. What is your vision? That's the monument that you're building towards, brick by brick, every single day. A simple mindset shift is all it takes sometimes to realize where you need to go and how to get there. So I encourage people to read this book, Drive. I encourage not only just individual people to read it for their own knowledge and wisdom, but organizations and teams, sports teams as well as sales teams. Any organization or conglomerate should read this book and understand it. I don't think enough companies understand motivation. It's a huge issue, man. I see it all the time. It's all you have to do is pay attention. I've always been somebody to pay attention to everything. That's why I read so many books. A lot of them contradict each other. But I know a good book when I see one. Because that's what I do. I don't watch TV. I gain knowledge and wisdom. I try to download every good book. And Daniel Pink is a brilliant guy. I mean, the guy researches that's what I do. I read people that are like myself, like-minded individuals. So what do I got to do? I got to search outside to find them. They're not around here. So I got to go look other places. They're not on the TV. They're not on Facebook. They're not on Instagram. Or a lot of times they're not even on... Yeah, you can find a lot of shit on YouTube, but you can find a lot of misinformation and distraction on YouTube as well, too. So there's nothing like getting a book and digging in full-fledged. I don't want to get into a rant about it, but on the topic of motivation, it stands alone.